What's going on, everyone? It is Paul, the 920 Trader with 920 Trading and Trading Decoded. Today is Thursday, February 22nd, 2024, and this is how we traded SPY yesterday. So we got some actually, NVDA got some really good news, as did the market yesterday after close. NVDA earnings were absolutely off the charts. I mean, just incredible. So what did that do? It ran SPY up. It ran everything up. SPY, SPX. Well, SPX doesn't trade after hours, but it ran SPY up after hours yesterday, and again in pre-market today to all-time highs. Now, it doesn't really count. Pre-market doesn't really count from an all-time high standpoint. We have to do that in regular hours. At least that's kind of how I look at it. But anyway, so we setting up the chart this morning. We're looking at pre-market high again. Our old pre-market high, or our old high in SPY, was $503.50. We have the pre-market high of $504.48, pre-market low $501.12. So we're thinking, you know what? Are we just going to have one of those days where we, go high and go low, take out pre-market high, then go get pre-market low? We never, ever know. As a matter of fact, we were a couple minutes into the trading day today, and one of our members said, is it a call day or a put day? And I said, yes, that's exactly what it is. So it might be a call day. It might be a put day. It might be a combination day. We don't know. We just play whatever the chart presents to us. Now, later in the day, if we're trending one way, we can say, yeah, you know what? We're just looking for calls only because it keeps pushing up, or we're only looking for puts because it keeps pushing down. So had a couple of different zones in here other than pre-market high and pre-market low. 5-minute pre-market support in at this level, 502.84. 15-minute pre-market support also at 503.59, and a 5-minute pre-market double top up here at 504.21. So 504.21. So that's pre-market. That's what it looks like. Let's get into the trading day. So here we go, right out of the gun, folks. Nice little red candle to the downside. You're thinking, oh, what are we going to do? Are we going to go and do we have liquidity high? We're going to search for some liquidity low. Are we going to have a massive sell-off? I don't know. Nobody ever knows. But at any rate, we pushed up past our initial level that we were looking at. Remember, that's 15-minute pre-market support. I totally missed this play right in here. Just totally missed it. Had a couple of good signals right in here. Crossed to the upside, breached this level of support. And again, I missed that trade, so I waited until I got above my next level. We can call this, it's resistance because it's a double top. But as soon as we breach that to the upside and hold, it in theory becomes support, and that's what it did on this particular trade. So we took that first cross to the upside, push, got through. Now, this is intraday quad bottom that could play out during the day, but we're not going to pay attention to this line right now. We're going to pay attention to this line up here, 5-minute intraday resistance. So that's going to be a double top up in this area. These lines were not here at this time. The only other lines that I had were this line right up here, 506.77. Why 506.77? We had no historical context. We had nothing to go by. We had nothing to the left of us. We haven't been here before. So consequently, what I did was I looked for some pivot points. So I added a couple of pivot points on my chart as far as where we could possibly go during the trading day. And 506.77, that was the first pivot point. Say that 3 times. That was the first pivot point that popped up. Now, obviously, we didn't get up there, closed the trade after this nice red candle back to the downside, closed it. Decent trade, decent trade back to the upside. I jumped this next trade to the upside right in here. I actually got in before the cross to the upside because, and I wasn't really interested in taking anything to the downside at this point, only because I knew that we needed to take out this 504.48 in order to get anything sustained to the downside. Plus, we had VWAP just a little bit lower. Could have taken it down there, but again, did not take that. I jumped this trade by a few minutes, and guess what? I had a stop down here. At a stop, I said, okay, if I get a close below this level right here, 504.69, I'm taking myself out of the trade. So for a good, 5, 6, 7 minutes, I was just thinking, you know what? I could take a loss on this, and that's okay, folks. I jumped the trade. Had it breached back to the downside, I would have closed that trade, but I didn't. Ended up pretty good on the trade. Took it past this level right here. So I'm thinking, you know what? Is 506.77 in play now? No, waited for a few candles. I breached the 9 back to the downside again. Kind of a conservative exit right there. Breached 9 back to the downside. It was a decent play. It wasn't great. It was a decent play. So came back to the downside through a couple levels. Did we test VWAP? No, we did not test VWAP. Came down again. Could have taken this play to the downside, but again, I'm looking at breach levels, and at this point, it's too late into the play to say, you know what? It kind of felt like I would have been chasing the play at this point, and I don't like to chase plays. Talked about that yesterday. Missed out on a big one because I didn't chase the play. But chasing plays, one of two different things happens, folks. It either goes for you or against you. The worst thing that can happen when you chase a play is to win money, okay, because you didn't follow your rules. The best thing that can happen when you chase a play is to lose money. It's kind of like touching the hot stove. When you touch the hot stove, you know it's hot, but you kind of deserve to get burned. Anyway, that's kind of what we're looking at right here. Now, on this next play to the upside, because I'm figuring, you know what, let's see if we can make some move to the upside. I almost got in on this candle right here. I had a couple of the people got in on this candle and then stopped out almost immediately on the next candle, waited for the breach again of this area. This was a pretty violent candle back to the downside. Would have been safe taking it in here above this level of support, 504.75. Remember, 5-minute intraday quad bottom. All of this area right in here, folks. We made a gigantic quad bottom in here, 504.75, 504.75. And you can even see that on the 15-minute. Matter of fact, let's switch over to the 15-minute right in here. So that quad bottom is right in here, folks, right in here. Look at all that good support. Oh, I just gave away everything as far as what happened the rest of the day, but that is okay. You guys know anyway. Okay. So at any rate, took that candle and I said, you know what? I'm going to close if we can breach this level up here because that's my known resistance at this point. So went ahead and took the trade off the table. Again, a decent little trade. Nothing great, but nevertheless, a decent trade. I got out where I thought I should have gotten out on that trade. But again, we had that cross to the upside, took the cross to the upside, played it to my next known level of resistance. And again, we don't have anything to the left of us. And not having anything to the left of us makes it more difficult to trade. When we are trading at all-time highs because we don't have historical context, we have to trust something. So what are we going to do? We're going to trust previous resistance, and we're going to trust the 9. So we trust the 9 to get us up to our previous resistance, or if we have a pivot point or something like that within sight, we can see if we can get up to that pivot point. Again, took the trade off here because, again, I had known resistance up here at 506.62. Somewhere right around in there, but it kept on pushing, bounced around, had a nice little cross to the upside. Didn't take any of these plays right in here. I missed a really, really nice trade. Went to lunch, actually, in this time. Came back and said, you know what? Guess what? I think this was 1370 on the button. Guys, all we're doing is pushing up. You can look at your higher time frames to see during this time period, all we are doing is pushing up. So it is up, 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 up. On the 5-minute, this is the 5-minute, we tested the 9 back to the downside, but we didn't, I guess we got one close in here, but we just ran it up. Almost the rest of the day, at least until the last hour and a half of the day. But at any rate, let's get back to the 1 minute. Took this trade right here on the almost double cross to the upside. We cleared the 9. So we opened just above the 9, closed below or above the 20, just below this 15-minute intraday double top, which I think it was just printing that double top around that time. Took this trade and took it up to almost up to where I said, hey, let's take out that 507.31. We check out this first pivot point, 506.77. So we finally got to that one. And by this time I said, you know what, I got to add another one. So I added another one up here. So I'm thinking, you know what, we're going to get to that level up there. We got real close, and I decided to close it out because, again, we breached the 9 and held below the 9 back to the downside. Now, we had a level in here, 506.94. So 506.94. One of our members said, hey, that's the 618 pivot point level. And let's see if that made any difference the rest of the day. So again, I didn't take another trade past this one, but look what it did. It just ran and ran and ran. We had another spot to get in right in here. And I told our folks, I said, folks, we're getting a fresh cross to the upside. And we're getting through this 507.31. Again, a pivot point right here. Had a couple of our members wrote it up. Some of them, took it out right in here. I said, guys, we were testing the 9, but we haven't had anything that closed below the 9. All right. Nothing below. So again, a couple of them wrote it up all the way to the top, almost to this double cross, close to this double cross to the downside. But again, I wasn't in the trade. Now, look what happened here. Remember this line that we were talking about just a little bit ago? 506.94. So 506.94 right in here, folks. Guess what we did? We came down and got to that very, very level. That is, you can almost count on that. I mean, it's that old support. So we came, we tested the line back to the upside, brought it down to that 506.94, went back up, and we did the same exact thing on this play. Tested that area again, ran back to the upside. Now, if you were playing puts, you could have done very, very well in this play back to the downside, but it is a massive counter trend trade. Take counter trend trades, but be very, very cognizant of where your major levels of support and resistance are. And that just happened to be at that level, 506.94, a very, very strong level of support. So what did it do the rest of the day? Well, it had a nice little run to the upside, a little pull back here, almost to this area, 507.31. Remember, pivot point, and then ran up again, bounced around. So it was a good day. So what was the flavor of the day? Was it calls or puts? It was calls. And again, we had that member that says, is it calls or puts? And I said, yes. We have no earthly idea what it's going to do. We just have to play what the chart presents to us. So we execute according to whatever our specific strategy or our process says to do. We must execute based on that, folks. But that's how she played out today. Really, really nice moves to the downside, nice moves to the upside. Had some quick moves to the downside, but you had to really, really always have to manage your trades. But when you're taking a counter trend trade it down to a known level of support right here, stopped, tested the 9, tested this level up in here, and then came back down to this very, very level. Now, we're getting really late in the day at this point. I think that 350 candle was green today. And it was green today, kind of bounced around. I'm sure there were some people on this 355 candle that said, you know what, we got a nice green candle to the upside, middle of the candle. They jump in and it immediately reverses on them. Folks, if you are taking late day plays, about 60% of the time, or 3 days out of every 5, we get a really, really, really nice play at the end of the day. But if you're taking those, realize that when they don't work out, the bottom line is you can hurt yourself when those things don't work out. It's more of a gamble than at any other time during the trading day. Now, the earlier we are in the trading day, generally speaking, the fewer areas of support and resistance we have to work through. Now, that's not always true, but it's generally speaking, of course. The later we get into the trading day, the more difficult it is because there are so many more areas, so many levels of support and resistance that we have to work through. So in other words, we have to have a lot of volume that goes one way or another to really move anything very, very quickly, like we do in the earlier parts of the day. My preference is to trade the first 90 minutes, maybe the first 2 hours of the day, and then be done. Now, if there's something, the last hour, maybe the last 30 minutes of the day, if it's a really, really nice setup, I will take that. But again, the first couple of hours of the day, that's my preference. There are trades all day long, but the first couple hours, generally speaking, are the best. So that's how it played out today. It was a really, really nice day in the markets today. To the upside, folks that took puts, and I heard of some people that took puts early in the day, and added to their positions and just got smashed. But that's how we did it today. Now, if you enjoy our content, please give us a like and a subscribe. Please subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to turn on your notifications. That way you can be the first to know when our new content is dropped. Also, appreciate all of the comments. And don't forget to share with your friends. Now, if you're interested in live daily trading, so every single day from bell to bell, we have a trading Discord. It's called Trading Decoded, and the information, the link is directly down below in the information. So come check us out. Come check us out. We're going to give you that first week for free. Again, live daily trading every single day. Now, if you're interested in the 920 crossover trading strategy, you can go to 920trading.com. So at 920trading.com, you will find all of the information about the 920 trading strategy. Also, feel free to sign up for our free weekly newsletter. It comes out every Saturday. We would appreciate it. So at any rate, thanks for spending a little bit of your time with us today. We greatly appreciate it. And again, we're going to do this tomorrow. We're going to trade tomorrow, and we're going to do an update tomorrow. Tomorrow being Friday. Whatever happens, happens, folks. But again, thanks for spending a little bit of your time with us on this beautiful Thursday. Hope you all have a great day, and we will see you in the markets.